Hello and welcome to the Whoniverse. Now in this video I'm going to chat about Russell T Davies' amazing new BBC and HBO drama series titled Years and Years. If you're a fan of Doctor Who or watched it in 2008, you might remember one of the darkest stories in the show's history, titled Turn Left, which follows the Doctor's companion, Donna Noble, as she makes a decision which means she never met the titular hero, and because of this is faced with a world without the Time Lord. Cue endless alien attacks, human tolls and questionable morals as this family show takes a very dark turn. The episode is brilliant, so much in fact writer Russell T Davies applies the idea of the world ending from the view of one person's family to a new show over 10 years later. This show is Years and Years, and there's no Doctor, no Daleks and no TARDIS. Instead we have a very, very real world. We see the Lyons family over the course of nearly 2 decades as the world changes around them, and not for the better, as they are forced to adapt to a near dystopian future. I've already reviewed episode 1 in depth in a recent video, however I thought now would be a great time to show my thoughts on the show's whole run of 6 episodes. So if you don't want it spoiled, then click away now and check out the official trailer for the show, or even better the full series itself on BBC iPlayer if you're in the UK, or HBO if you're in America. It's only 6 episodes long, so what do you have to lose? Right, let's get into it. So, the series is full of twists and turns as we follow the Lyons clan, made of brilliant and famous actors, with Grandma Muriel played by Anne Reid, and her grown-up grandchildren, Daniel played by Russell T, Stephen played by Rory Kinnear, Rosie played by Ruth Madley, and Edith played by Jessica Hines, with their families and partners. Also headlining we have Tanya Miller, who plays Stephen's wife Celeste, Maxim Baldry, who plays refugee Victor who steals Dan's affections, and then we have Emma Thompson, who plays entrepreneur turned politician Vivian Rook. This series has big names, but does it have big characters? My answer to that is yes, 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 all the yeses you could ask for, with characters that are far from boring, and the best thing for me is they feel real. They are you and me, with the level of representation in this series really allowing the audience to really understand the characters from a disabled single mother, a straight white man and his family, a gay man and his husband and later second partner, a gay woman and her partner, a grandma who remembers the best and the worst the world can throw at us, and examples of different ages and genders growing up today. The series covers every angle it can and makes every single one matter, in a way that doesn't feel forced or out of place. I don't often talk about representation in my videos, as I'm often talking about space rhinos or farting aliens, but it does really matter, and I'm so pleased that Russell T Davies got it so right. Now, I really loved the raw emotion these actors were allowed to show from Dan's despair, anger and vanishing hope in the first few episodes, and especially episode 4. I mean, blimey, that scene on the beach, that really got me. Not to mention Stephen's financial and emotional struggles, and Bethany's elation as she was allowed to take the steps she wanted to bring her life forward. I would just like to say at this point, Lydia West really has a future in acting, film and television. Her portrayal of Beth really stood out to me and was sensational, with every scene believable, every reaction perfectly matching the thoughts of the character, and showing them clearly on screen. Her character was made easy to root for, not only because of Russell's frankly superb writing, but also Lydia's simply great performance. The series also showcases some of the big names giving us their best shot, with Rory Kinnear's portrayal of Stephen, struggles that are really highlighted in episode 6 really standing out. The torment he has put through and puts others through is horrible to watch, but amazingly acted. And as for Maxim Baldry, who would have thought that the actor who is mainly only known for Mr. Bean's Holiday, would be the holder of such a believable and heartbreaking performance that is so genuine, that it makes the tragic ending of episode 4 hold so much more of a hard-hitting impact. For me, it may have been a series full of big names with iconic actors, including Emma Thompson, who is so believable when fueled by Russell's writing. She makes the idea of an erstwhile camp sound more and more convincing, when in truth they are absolutely horrific. However, I think this series was really showing its strengths with the rise of great new actors that are getting the attention they really do deserve. And as much as I would really love to say it's a series full of hope and heart, and it is, but only for those brief shining moments, those scenes where they get drunk and party in the garden, declare love for one another or become who they want to be. Everyone else? It's chaos. It's real. It's just real life. The series highlights the problems we could easily face with politics, the environment and people on the path they are currently on. The effects of this range throughout the series through the use of amazing fast-paced intercut news clips, reactions and full-on scenes as the true panic strikes. A few great examples of the show taking the known and stretching it to a possible future that feels all too close. Are the banks closing their doors and financially collapsing? Millionaires made into the bulk of the job centre queue overnight as they lose everything. Donald Trump launching a Trident nuclear missile at China's new island, Hongqiaodao. Not to mention the surge of technology and its takeover not just of our lives, but how we just live them, how we simply just live our lives. The series showcases a world where the loss of bananas and butterflies are normal, shrugged off by characters in the same way we remember losing Woolworths. It's a strange and desperate world that in a great speech delivered in glorious fashion by Anne Reid's Muriel in episode 6 that gets me. This isn't the world Russell T Davies created, this is the world that we created, you and me. Everyone made this mess from simply not doing anything, we're happy to complain and nothing more, as the world falls into flames around us. Each episode follows the family as it changes and is heavily affected by the events each year brings, and one episode in particular brought a heavier toll than any other. This for me was episode 4. Now, if you've got this far, and still care about spoilers, please look away now and come back as soon as you finish episode 4, to avoid a whopping great spoiler. I mean, all the episodes are brilliant, but episode 4, for me, like just the climactic scene at the end really stands out. So, are you back? You ready? Great. So episode 4 highlighted the desperate struggle of Dan as he tried desperately to get his partner Victor back into the UK. The many attempts they went through and the lengths Dan was prepared to go really showcases the love this character have for one another, and sadly a very real narrative. Episode 4 ends with a traumatic boat journey as Dan and Victor clamber aboard only for the boat to be filled with more and more people. These are the kind of boats Dan was dealing with in episode 1, and the threat we deal with it every day, in reality. This is the journey more and more refugees make every day to escape their country only to be met with horrible death, or sickening racism and abuse if they survive. What this episode alone does is show you that these people that are desperate to escape are again like you and me, they're human, and it makes a circular narrative of Dan going from the refugee housing officer to a refugee. It really speaks to me as an audience member, and when we are shown the chaotically cut boat sequence as we are greeted on the other side with a beach littered with too many bodies. And one of them is Daniel. Now I'm not going to show the image of Dan's body here as I feel it's not the nicest thing to view on YouTube and could potentially be disrespectful to the real victims of similar disasters. However, the scene is truly heart-wrenching. As Dan tried so hard to get Victor home, he lost himself completely, but he completed his goal to get the man he loved home. The real sadness is Victor questions whether or not he truly is home without Dan, is the final blow, and a match of emotional fisticuffs that sees the audience completely beaten. It's truly one of the best pieces of television I've watched in a long time. We are so lucky to be graced with the pure talent that is Russell T Davies. Now Russell is not only phenomenal at showing us the ordinary people that make up the audience, but also those who hold power, such as Viv Rook, the outrageous entrepreneur that sounds like she's full of new ideas that will change the world for the better. Instead, she becomes Prime Minister. However, I feel dictator is a better term, as she tears apart the tattered British society by creating concentration camps for refugees and immigrants. She makes council estates, fenced off crime-ridden communities, and warps and twists everyone until they snap. Her story, as she rises to power in the background until she ultimately becomes the full focus of the story, really is masterful, and all throughout she may appear to be evil, but she really isn't. Viv Rook isn't a villain, because, for me, there isn't one. Years and years, it's just life, it's just real life. She's a person our society has crafted from all the chaos. Her choices may be despicable, but she aims for the greater good. However, her means are unjust and simply horrific. However, it's what she's been driven to by a world that just wouldn't listen, and continues not to. Now you might be wondering why I've mentioned the phrase, me and you, or like you and me, throughout the video as much as I have. Well, it's because that is what the story's focus really is, to show everyone that real life is terrifying and full of small decisions that lead to catastrophic events, which we all need to work to stop. There will always be another Viv Rook, another clown or outrageous celebrity ready to bring the walls down on us, and it's our jobs to prevent it. There are so many plot points I could talk through, so many messages, like the brilliantly developed relationship between Muriel and Celeste, Stephen's downward spiral and Edith's failing health. All these small strands make up such a large, brilliant and brutal picture that you can't help but look at it in shock and horror, but also in awe. Russell T Davies has truly created a phenomenal 10 out of 10 masterpiece which delves into the cogs of society and the small events that not only make life beautiful, but painful too. It's a series which shows a potential future, born out of our present, so let's try and prevent it. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course for watching Years and Years. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm so happy to see Russell T Davies succeeding outside the world of Doctor Who once again. And if you want to see how he and his team brought Doctor Who back to TV, then be sure to check out my 3-part documentary series, How Doctor Who Came Back. And of course, if you want a more in-depth look at my thoughts on Years and Years Episode 1, then please check out my review at the end. And of course, if you still haven't watched it, even after watching this entire video, then thank you very much for watching this video, seriously, thank you. But also, go check out the series. You need to watch it to really experience it. It's so great. I honestly haven't watched such a good TV series in so long. Check out on BBC iPlayer, or if you're in America, HBO. If you enjoyed this video again, please leave a comment below, like and subscribe to see more. I really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.